So correct me if I'm wrong, but today, then tomorrow, and the day after that, when? When does it stop? Welcome back, #DearMe viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in to another #DearMe episode. I know the videos have not really been consistent the past few weeks, but you know what? I have come to certain conclusions while contemplating my life, and the videos will be more consistent. They will be more consistent, but you know what? I've gotten to a stage where I am not forcing certain things out of me because I feel like I will be unable to create and process certain emotional tips that I can for you guys, like I usually do with the other #DearMe episodes. But yeah, so all I could ask for you guys is to just be patient with me, and that way I can generate all these brilliant, emotional, ideal kind of juice onto you, and then you can pour it into yourself, and pour it into yourself, you can pour it into others. But anyways, if you feel like you could relate to the first part of my video, then from the title of this video, this message is for you. But before we get into it, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Naomi Campbell, and I am the CEO and founder of #DearMe. What #DearMe is about is basically helping women find themselves again, despite whatever issues that they may be facing in their life, and if they feel like they haven't found themselves in a very long time, you know, it's never too late. Never too late. I am also a motivational life coach, and I release self-love videos / pep talks every Thursday. If you are interested in any self-love packages and services, or even relationship ones, please check out the bio for more information. So now let's get started on this week's #DearMe episode. Now, I don't know about you, but there comes a moment in your life where you feel like you are drowning in your sea of emotional responsibility in terms of having to show up for whatever is requiring your attention and responsibility in the current moment, whether it be work, whether it be friends, whether it be drama, family, anything. And it gets to a certain stage where you place yourself on autopilot because that's the only way you can actually survive this ongoing repeated cycle going over and over and over again, where you feel like a hamster in a barrel. And if you take yourself off autopilot, you don't know where you might end up, and you might lose your goddamn mind. As you grow into adulthood, you start to realize that every single day you are called to your obligations, and it doesn't matter how you're feeling in the moment, because you know that if you don't do the certain things, certain consequences will happen. And yes, those obligations are important, and yes, if you don't fulfill said obligation, a certain consequence will happen that will affect your life. But then I feel like it comes to a moment where we start to forget our emotional obligation. We start to forget our spiritual obligation. We start to neglect our own soul. We start to neglect ourselves. And then we starve ourselves from the inside out while still expecting things from the outside to change depending on how hard we are working. And yes, those things might happen, but at the end of the day, even when you achieve said obligation, let's say you achieve said goal, you will not feel fulfilled because you have used up all your positive vibrational energy to get to where you wanted to be. And now that you're there, you have starved yourself out, and now you're surprised why you feel this way. You're surprised why you don't feel the need to do more, or you feel surprised that you're complacent. You are complacent and you feel stuck because you are starving on the inside. And until we start to dig deep and look into ourselves, we will never understand why we feel the way that we do, and we won't be able to get ourselves out. Just like that hamster in the barrel from the first example that I gave, we will be running and running and running on empty fuel, on empty pretentious fuel given to us by society and by our friends and by our peers. But you cannot rely on other people to fuel your energy. And that's how some people become so dependent on others. And how you can become dependent on others is by looking at lovers, for example. There are a lot of people who get into relationships expecting the most from their partner and get to a point where they're like, hey, I don't feel happy. But you're forgetting it's not your partner's job to make you feel happy. Or when you're with a large group of friends or even friends, you're like, hey, I don't feel fulfilled by this friendship. I'm bored. So you move on to the next thing. Same thing with a partner. You get complacent, you get bored, you move on to the next thing. And at the end of the day, it's never really that person's problem. It's not that person's energy. It's not that person's being. It is you. Because you are looking for somebody else to fuel your energy in a way that they are incapable of doing. Because nobody has the key to that level of being that you are. Only you do. That is something that was gifted to you by God. And only you know what it takes to fulfill yourself in a way that you feel energized and ready to accomplish and achieve and create the next thing. And until you start realizing that all these people don't owe you anything, all these people cannot make you feel what you want, what you're desperately needing to feel, and all these people cannot change or alter your perspective of your own life in any way. Well, obviously, apart from me, I'm giving you the tips, what I'm saying? But until that happens, we will be unable to move forward in a positive light. See, the thing is that you're not going to dramatically say, hey, I want to change my life. The next day it happens. See, it's all a process. It's all a step to understanding, a step to unlocking the trauma, unlocking said emotional blockage that is stopping you from being able to proceed in the way that you want to proceed. But you need to be able to understand yourself, your being, your energy. Energy is one of the most important things I feel that we should be taught as children. But when you look at it, we are actually taught of it with how we are told to respond to others, how we are told to even respond to ourselves when we feel angry, when we feel sad, or how certain parents respond to their kids' outbursts of emotion. When you are a child, you are a whole ball of energy, of untamed energy. You are learning, you are processing. But what we fail to understand is that as adults, that never changes. Yes, we know how to tame it in a way that is deemed quote unquote acceptable by society standards, but the lesson of learning how to embrace our energy and learning how to cultivate it and use it to our advantage, that will never stop, because your energy is constantly shifting, it is constantly changing. And without you realizing and understanding that it's all a process, that it's all a step-by-step situation, and that you really don't know anything, and that life isn't here to knock you down, that life is here is to mold and shape you into who God had called you to be, to your highest self. But there is not one form of highest self. There are multiples of different versions, different forms waiting for you. But in order to get there, you need to what? Fill your energy, fuel yourself. And you're probably wondering, how the hell do I make that happen? How the hell do I fuel my energy? What is it to fuel myself in ways that only I know? I don't even know what the heck I'm talking about. I don't even know where to begin, and I don't know what it is that I am looking for. But let me tell you this. It is actually a very simple thing to fuel yourself. And this is something that I had to learn through simple memories. Our body tends to remind us of the things that we should be doing and the things that we should be gravitating towards that will help us get to where we need to be in terms of fueling ourselves to meet our highest version of our current selves, in our current emotional state, in our current mindset. Whenever you have a gut feeling about something and someone, or whenever you have like a random thought saying, oh, I feel like, let's say you always played basketball as a kid and you loved it. Oh, I feel like playing basketball again. And this basketball is not something you played in a very long time. That is your body letting you know, hey, play basketball. You will feel good in a moment, and in turn, you will feel positive, and that positivity will fuel your what? Your creativity. It's that simple. Or it could be as simple as having tea. You could tell yourself, I feel like having that tea I always had a few years ago. Or I feel like taking a walk down this avenue that I used to when I was in my younger years. Or I feel like seeing this movie again. Or I feel like listening to this song again. Or I feel like connecting to that person again. Those little whims are not there for nothing. Those little whims are not there for mental decoration. Those whims are there to literally fuel yourself. Your whims are the fuel you need to fulfill your happiness and get to where you want to be. Use your whims wisely, and you will see how much more self-respect you'll gain, along with happiness, along with fulfillment, along with all these things, because these whims are sent to you by God. These whims are sent to you by the Creator, because who else knows us better than the one who created us to begin with, the creator of emotions. Listen to your whims. Listen to the small voices in your head, the positive ones. I'm talking about, I'm not talking about, devil being like. Everything that you need is already there. It's been built inside you. Everything that you need to be at the best version that you want to be is there. Don't let those thoughts, those whims, those desires slip you by. Listen. And even in the moments that you feel like you don't have the energy to go and do what you want to do, or even complete those whims, sit and listen to yourself. Listen to yourself as you're listening to your inner child. Entertain yourself with the ideas, because as you think, the thought turns into words, and the words turn into action. So never dismiss yourself when you feel like fulfilling yourself in that moment ever again, because you are missing out on an opportunity to fuel for harmony on the inside will make everything equally aligned in perspective on the outside. Now, I'd like to end this video with a very interesting quote I read today from a book. Yeah, she reads, the greatest revolution in our generation is the discovery that human beings, by changing the inner attitudes of their minds, can change the outer aspects of their lives. William James. Girl. What that basically means is that until you fuel yourself, and until you change how you are on the inside, and until you pump that spark of life back in, through the help of God, through the help of God, through the help of God, you will not be able to show up as your highest self in your current mindset. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning into this week's #DearME episode. If you have any questions or related theories, please comment in the comment section down below. Or if you don't feel comfortable expressing to everybody in the community, you can also email me at dearmeask@gmail.com. And if you would like your question to be featured in the next #DearMe episode or pep talk, also please email me at dearmeask@gmail.com. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at DearMe_girlchat to join our self-love community, where I share my inspirational tips in terms of self-love and other things that I don't usually speak about on YouTube. Make sure to like this video and share it to anybody who may need to hear this message. Anywho, thank you so much again, and can't wait to see you guys in the next episode.